Hi, hey, welcome to the webinar, the Mama Bliss, Mama Biz Balance this summer. 5 steps to. How's that for muddling the title of the webinar? The 5 steps to more Mama Bliss, Mama Biz Balance webinar this summer. Just flip those last 2 phrases and we are right on. So thanks for coming. And thank you for listening to the recording, and let us dive right in. It's a busy summer day here in the Stell household. Looks like I have to drink a little bit more sips of coffee to get my tongue working properly. Okay, so I'm just going to dive right into the slides that I crafted up for you, mamas. Okay, so here, this makes it a whole lot easier, don't it? The 5 steps to more Mama Bliss, Mama Biz Balance this summer webinar. I am so honored you two have taken time out from, I'm sure, one of your busy summer mornings. And if you're living in the other part of the world, a busy winter morning. But regardless, these tips you can use all year through. And it just so happens to be summer out here, and it's a whole new ball of fun mama wax going on here. So let's explore how we can swing that too with our Mama Biz. So this is me. I am Kathy Stoll. I am a Mama Bliss and Biz coach over at Bliss Beyond Nap Time. And I'm also the founder of Mama Bliss Coaching School, where I train mamas from all over the world to coach other mamas to bliss. So a little bit about my background. I'm going to make this really short and sweet. I began my online business actually in 2002. So that's counting this hemp soap business I had. And I had an Etsy shop for that, even though it was mostly offering it through wholesale sales and farmers markets and stuff. But that was my first foray into the online biz world. And that led me down to blogging about my creative endeavors and eventually creating e-courses and writing e-books. And I decided, gosh darn it, I want to be a coach. So I first got certified as a Simplicity Parent coach, just because a lot of the principles resonated to me as a busy mama. And I'm going to get a little bit more into that story in particular in a moment. And then wanting to go even deeper yet, I wanted to really support mamas as creative beings and looking at playful ways to connect with the points of resistance for them, just kind of procrastinating on their dreams. So that is when I became a Kaizen Muse creativity coach. And finally, I really wanted to hone in on helping moms who are ready to start exploring what their calling is outside being an awesome mom. And I kind of joke, a lot of my clients seem to have 4.5-year-old sons for some reason. So I think that's when we start to come out of that real deep mothering labyrinth and start getting that taste of freedom, and really want to, a lot of my mamas here want to create a work from home business that's sustainable and also honors this unique gift we have of being a mama and the gifts that we unearth in this journey that we want to share with the world, and also something that works with the particular season of mothering where we find ourselves in. So before we go further, I would love it if you could be completely present. Turn off any distractions such as phones. If you're listening to the recording, just see if you can get a notebook handy, or if you're walking and listening to me right now in your ears, give it another second listen to when you're able to really be present here. Okay, and for those of us who are here live, I have a really fun bonus that is going to be shared at the end so that you can win this little pretty. Oh, and actually that reminds me, I forgot my hat. I was going to wear it for you. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, there's a picture at the end. So stick around to the very end, and you will be in on the know of how to get one of these little babies on top of your head. my feeling cap. So those of you who are here live, I would love to hear how do you want to keep the momentum of your budding biz moving this summer, but are feeling pulled to keeping the kids amused instead? I'm here to tell you that that is a very normal tug of war going on. Entrepreneurial moms, we got a fire in our belly that can't be squelched. At the same time, that same burning, we love our kiddos. So it is a very tough spot, but we are built for this. We can figure this out, and I'm hoping that I can help you with that too in the rest of this. There we go. In the rest of this workshop. So does this sound like you? You're feeling frustrated because when you're with your kids, you're not doing what you need to do to move your business forward this summer. Or when you are working, you're feeling those pangs of that delicious taste of guilt in your mouth because you're being a not so fun mom. And to help contend with these dualities, you tried hiring some childcare, but finding sometimes that didn't work out super well. I know I had the worst childcare luck imaginable, such as finding someone who's awesome and they promptly move away, or just not completely comfortable. My dog didn't like this. So yeah, who knows? But maybe you're not working as much as you like. So to compensate, maybe you're staying up late, but nothing you're trying so far has really helped. And you just are kind of wishing you could just hire yourself a body double to kind of stand in for you in your life and sometimes in your biz. You just want to be in two places at once. So this is what I'm going to teach you today. Number one, the importance of giving yourself permission so that you can take care of your needs first. Because this balancing of your work and your life, and when I'm saying life, I'm meaning like a healthy, centered life, it's not a myth that there's no such thing as balance. I truly believe that there is, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that and how to make it possible. And step two, we're going to break down your summer goals into what I like to call baby bliss steps, so that you're not feeling overwhelmed, or when you do feel overwhelmed, you have the tools to make that subside. And step three, staying focused on the big task at hand so you can make real progress, because we only have so many hours in the day, and especially for us mamas, it feels sometimes that it's less than the average person, but I'm going to share with you some ways that I stay focused. That has been pretty powerful. And step four is when you are with your kids, the importance of staying really present with them, unplugging, and how to use the power of anticipation to really just make you shine when it is one-on-one time with them. And finally, step five, the reminder tools, so that you don't forget what we're picking up here today, and then you can lean on those when you are feeling wobbly and feeling that, what's the point? There is a point, and my tools and tips will remind you what. Okay, so before we dive in, I was going to share with you a story that really has inspired this area of work of mine. So this is me and my daughter back in the day when we used to walk around town in matching handmade outfits. Sorry. I recently rediscovered this photo, and it just makes me giggle every time I see it, because my daughter's best friend just had a baby sister, and it's uncanny how much this little sister looks like Edie in this picture. It's just the cutest thing ever. Anyway, so this is me 12 years or so ago. And I wrote here, I was a super groovy, laid back mama. The first year of being a mom, I kind of quipped that this is our year of one gigantic sleepover. I'm not getting out of my pajamas. My kid's not getting out of her pajamas. And I was pretty chill, except when it was time, we had to be somewhere at a specific time. And I remember it was right before she turned 1, because I remember she was not walking yet. And that's, the mothering journey. I was all worried about that. And it was the first time she did music classes, Suzuki method. It sounds so fancy, hey? But I remember it was the first time she signed up for some. And we had to be there every Wednesday, let's say at like 10 o'clock, whatever. I was chilly chill mama until we had to be somewhere at a specific time, and I would lose it. I just didn't recognize myself. My voice box constricted, so it's like my voice was at an octave higher. I'd be like running around frantic, looking for all the things for the diaper bag. I just noticed it really triggered me, and I became impatient, frustrated, and then driving, I felt like literally was putting our lives at risk. I was starting to be like, I don't like this. So I'm noticing some of the struggles that kind of tied into with my biz. I got the epiphany that I when it came up with time, when time was an issue, I would really just lose it. And so that is kind of trickling into my entrepreneurial spirit, in terms that being a very passionate mompreneur and a very passionate mom at the same time, I just always have so many ideas, and then frustrated with the lack of time to be able to physically execute them all. And then there's also that internal struggle that I really was just giving. Like literally, she was like sucking the life force out of like both my kids. We nursed for 3 years each, and I just wanted to be by myself. It might surprise you, to those who know me, but I am technically an introvert. Myers-Briggs, I'm very, I can go either way, but that's how I get recharged, is being by myself. So I struggled with that. Like, how can I do all that I want to do, plus get time alone? And, here's me with my son and daughter. And I was a people pleaser. I didn't like the feeling of letting people down. I didn't like being late. I didn't like dropping the ball. And simultaneously, I also, I could delegate, but I was a little bit, and still am in some respects, a bit of a control freak. So I just didn't, I still wanted to cook for my kids. I wasn't 100% comfortable, unleashing them to someone else's care. So, and it's, a lot of this, again, is overlap with my business and my parenting. And then I finally figured out what the dealio is. So I shared that I was drawn towards the Simplicity Parenting training, because that resonated with me, that less is more, and that I really just want to slow down the experience of childhood for my children, and also just to savor it being for myself, because I found becoming a mother was really like a healing process to myself. It's almost like I got an opportunity, as much as my parents were awesome and they did their best, there are some components that I felt that, I could have used a little bit more of this or that. So I was able to kind of relive my childhood, but also kind of nourish myself in the parenting experience. So that's why I was drawn to Simplicity Parenting. I didn't want to put too much on my kids' plate. So I didn't want too much toys. I didn't want too many activities for them. I really wanted to highlight the simplicity of being just with each other. And one of the tenets of Simplicity Parenting, to tell when it's time to take something off of their plate or take one decision off, was to simplify one area of their life. And you can notice when it was time was when the kid would start having like meltdowns or start to kind of withdraw. It depends on the kid. So they call that soul fever, and everyone displays their soul fevers in a different way. And I noticed that when we were late, or when I was getting anxious, it was because I was experiencing soul fever. So it was time for me to simplify or find more balance. So this is what happened when I became aware of this and started implementing some of the strategies I'm going to share with you today. I had more energy and focus to put my dreams and thus the plans that came to reach those dreams into place. So I was a one productive little bunny. So since then too, when I am with my kids, I just felt less resentment and more excitement. I felt it made me a more kind of interesting mom to hang out with. Um, and I feel that I'm kind of able to share with them on an interesting level, like what I feel is my big why in life beyond like, creating them. So now I'm just over the moon with what I get to do every day. I get to help other moms come to this realization too, that anything is possible when we heed that sense of imbalance. So when we pay attention to what our bodies, our soul, our feelings are communicating to us when something is off balance and needs to be corrected, needs to come back to center, needs to come back to Mama Bliss. Oh, my daughter took that photo. I just love it. Anyway, okay, so today I'm earning an income from home, and I had to kind of cut out some of the text here because it was this big braggedy brag moment. I'm just joking, but no, it had more of a backstory. I actually took a traditional job last summer, and dude, it blah, blah, blah. Anyways, it lasted 2 months, but basically I was going to write, today I'm earning an income from home that equals like, it was kind of like is a little bit more than part-time job at a software sales company. But I also now had the flexibility. That was the huge reason I left too, was it's just so awesome coaching moms to do this as well, is having the flexibility to be at home, especially something about being at home, well, especially in the summer, because, it's nice to be out there at the beach and be kind of more spontaneous about it. Take impromptu camping trips. And also one thing we notice after that, I call it the big get a job experiment. My husband has his freedom back now to go on his climbing trips that are his way to recharge, because I can stay home with the kiddos. And this happens too during the school year, to be home when they're sick. So I'm just over the moon. So if you can imagine that feeling of getting to go to bed each night, and you're just feeling that you've really tapped into your calling, and you're feeling that sense of inner peace, that you're taking care of yourself, you're feeling you accomplished something that day, you took a baby step towards meeting your personal or business goals, and you're also feeling like deeply connected with your sun-drenched, vitamin D laden family. So where do we start to find that balance? Where? Well, first we begin with taking care of your needs first, Mama. So this is what all my work as a Mama Bliss Biz and Life Coach begins at, is the 4 pillars. 4 pillars are self-care, creativity, values, and simplicity. So we always start with self-care, because from there so all of these layers kind of build upon each other. So we're going to begin with the shoes of self-care. So the acronym just offers an easy way to do a quick self-check on where your self-care rituals and rhythms are at. So the most important one, and I just had an amazing call with a guest expert for Mama Bliss Coaching School this round, Lane Kennedy. That's her specialty. She's a bulletproof coach with focus on sleep, and it was amazing. So I'm so excited about getting more sleep. It didn't happen last night because I had to get up really early, because that's another story, but the kids are getting ready for a camping trip right now. So I had to get up super early to get them all set up and get this ready too. So the second letter in shoes stands for H2O. So as I read these, just pay attention to what you're feeling. If you had to choose, which one of these would you put some extra attention on for the rest of the summer? O is for organic living. Again, that is just being aware of toxins in your environment, in the products you use at home, what you're putting into your bodies, and also, communing with nature, living, getting in sync with the seasons. E is for exercise, and the final S is for stillness. So meditative practice, just getting to be by yourself. So the first step, again, to find more balance this summer, I'm going to brainstorm in little tiny ways you can nourish each area of your shoes. And then that one particular shoe component, you're going to see if you can just like really raise the bar up a little bit more and let that be the laser focus just for this summer that you're going to put a little bit more extra attention on. So for my example, sleep really jumped out at me because I'm feeling a little rough this morning. And also I'm really like pumped after that talk yesterday. But let me think. Yeah, so for that example, I could say, let's say I'm going to focus on that. So I could, if you want to grab a piece of paper, just make a quick note of, okay, a little promise to yourself until September, I am going to be in bed more carefully before 10 o'clock. So that's what we learned yesterday. Between 10 and 2 is like the sweet spot, is when you get the best sleep. So I was in bed so early last night. It felt good, but again, I had to get up really early. Okay. But then all the other areas of your shoes, just, start thinking like teeny tiny ways that you can celebrate those. So for water, for instance, I could, pretty up the water. For summer, you can be cute. I've seen this at spas, like putting in slices of fruit in your water, berries, mint leaves, orange slices, etc. So that could be a way to entice me to drink more water. Oh, organic living. I could celebrate that in small ways of really indulging at the farmer's market. E for exercise. Actually, I'm loving the gym these days. I never thought I would be a gym bunny again, but it's nice for me to go right after dinner, like about twice a week now. And S for stillness. I just downloaded again, thanks to Lane, Insight Timer on my phone to get some meditation in. Small ways and then big ways. So there are the rest of the 3 pillars are just as important. But this I feel in the summer or any other time of year, it's a fun way to invite the children into your own Mama Bliss. So these, of course, all these points, you can really shine the light on how you can celebrate them individually or as a family. So for the summer, just to make this more doable, when you're not working, how can you really dive into more creativity with the kids? So some ideas might be, for me, for instance, my garden. The kids are really helpful with that. Making a bouquet for the dinner table. We can bring our little watercolor paint kits to the beach. My daughter's really into sewing these days, so we can have sewing Sundays. So yeah, come up with ideas and maybe jot those down on your piece of paper as well. So this is something I want you to write down for sure. It's just to meditate, or if it helps, to talk it out with your partner or co-parent on the values that you really want to live into this summer. How can you celebrate these in little or small ways? So let's just begin with what those 3 values might be. I have a whole bunch of exercises I like to use with my clients. There's also, if you Google value tests, some really cool ones come up. Otherwise, I like to suggest sometimes even just thinking of your favorite photos in your life, like what's happening in those photos. And so those are fun to kind of like play psychologist on yourself and see if that could be the hint of what are some of your values that really speak to your soul and that you might be able to really celebrate this summer. So write 3 of those down. And finally, simplicity, another very important pillar of Mama Bliss, which really ties into finding balance. Because in order to find balance, again, you're going to have to let go of some things and simplify so that we can really allow the consciously chosen values to shine through. So that's fun. And some people, it's tough because everything always feels important, but it's not like you're getting rid of them forever. It's just a temporary situation. Okay, so you should have a few things jotted down now. Again, if I'm moving too fast, you're going to get the recording for this. But we should move along. There's 4 more steps. So step 2, we're going to break down your summer down into doable bliss and biz chunks. Look, those are my toes. Okay, so you can grab another sheet of paper or the one that you were writing on, and you are going to write down bliss-filled summer 2017. And here, write out those top 3 values if you came up with them already. And then you're going to write out 3 columns. So the next 3 upcoming months. So the time of this recording, we're going to write July, August, September. And then we're going to look at, well, we looked at your bliss already. So it should be pinpointed up there, your values. You know, the self-care practice you're really going to dive into, as well as some other ideas to just kind of keep that topped up. But for your business, we're going to choose like one area that you're really going to shine or put the bulk of your effort and focus into this next 3 months. So just think, it depends again what season you're at in your business. So if you're just starting out, maybe you're just, you know, going backwards here, but let's start at the beginning. Okay, so if you're already established business, perhaps there is a big promotion or launch coming up, or maybe you're just been really wanting to redesign your website forever, or you know you need to focus on list building. You've been wanting to get systems down and client care nailed down as well. And again, if you're just beginning, research and development. So just choosing one, perhaps write that down on that piece of paper and make it pretty with some stars. And what we're going to do is break down that one theme that we're really going to dive into this summer, and break it down into 3 baby bliss steps. And then you're going to slide each one of those steps under the corresponding month. So it's not by any means you're not going to be doing anything else this summer, but this is what you're going to be doing first before, you know, that activity, before you move on to something else. So let's go with an example from my business. My signature program, Mama Bliss Coaching School. It's a 12-week coaching training program. So it's offered every 6 months. We're just about to wrap up the spring session. And then in September, the fall one comes up. And I'm looking like this because my calendar's on the wall right there. And so yeah, so I would put that down as my focus, to really make a big think about that. Now, to break that down into doable steps for July, I already meditated on this, so you might need some time to come up with a plan. I know that I want to do not this webinar, but another webinar that's related to a 5-day challenge I'm going to offer in August, so that I can reach a new audience, and I can really, you know, build some buzz and excitement in some tangible ways that the coaching training program can really change your life. And then finally, September is going to be my promotion month for Mama Bliss Coaching School. So that, just reading that and seeing that, it does bring some ease, because I know I only have so many hours to do stuff. And if I know kind of what the theme is going to be, I'm feeling much more relaxed. Feels more doable. Okay, and then to get the Mama Bliss, so we got the Mama Bliss for ourselves, we got the Mama Biz for our biz, and you know, just to keep the guilt kind of at bay, here's the part where I talk about really building anticipation so that the kids can have something to look forward to. And that's another thing that I borrow from Simplicity Parenting, that we're taking stuff off that, you know, often like we're really packing our kids with like activities and trips and stuff. And it's just a little too much. So if we can just offer them like a little bit, and then instead put that energy into like building it up. Oops, my alarm's going off. Building up that excitement for them, it's just even more, it's more sweet. It's sweeter. Okay. All right. So some ideas, and I actually did this in the spring, but again, my big calendar up there, I wrote out, it could, again, each summer can have a theme. Last year, our theme was actually going on vacation. So we did one of our first big family car trips out into the Pacific Northwest. But this year, our theme is staycation. So perhaps that's something I can offer an idea to you too, is just play tourist in your town. So just on the calendar, each month, say, okay, we're going to play tourist and do the zip line that's, down the highway, whatever. Camping trips. So, again, you can keep it local or combine it with something that is already something that was already planned, to visit with, family outside of town, turn it into a camping trip. So something that's kind of more kid style friendly fun. So here I wrote festivals. I have a lot of my friends who love music and they love to take their kids to festivals. Berry picking, weddings, that could be something that you can really hype up. So making sure that there's something that you can really, put on the calendar so the kids can see it's coming up. And then another step is to write out a simple pleasure to do with the kids each day that holds the essence of the values that you want to celebrate these months. So some examples, if connection was one of your values, perhaps stories on the hammock after, and at a certain time of the day when it's not too hot or your hammock's in the shade. You chose nature, you can go on a hiking excursion or rock climbing. I wrote as an example, farmer's market, if sustainability is one of your values, or simplicity is actually not only one of my values, but it's my word of the year. And that's what I feel the afternoons at the beach, which is our little ritual over the summer, just really exemplifies. And I just love it because it reminds me, okay, this is why I do what I do. Okay, I am going to see if anybody wants to share what some of their fun mom activities they got planned out so far. So I wonder how I can check on the chat box. Okay, so just put them in the chat box. I'm gonna look at them later. Ooh, okay, now that close. Stop making myself so big. Okay, mamas. So step 3. Now it's time to stay focused at the business at hand. So how do we do that? So first we begin with the times that we are indeed working. So if it helps, make yourself a little sign. I am working these hours, and then having a little family meeting and asking your partner if you can get some assistance with protecting these times. So there's some fun ways you can work around this in our family. In the summer, we had a big meeting, and I told them I am working pretty darn early. So I said I would work at like 5:30, but that too is kind of fluid. Again, this morning was 5:30 for sure. And but most days it's about 6. And I told the kids, of course I'll come up and wake them up around 7:30 and make them breakfast. But then I'm coming back down working till noon. And then after lunch, I'm all yours. So that's been working out pretty well. And my husband's been great too. He takes the kids on Saturdays for fun stuff, and then that's also my day to work as well. And then talk to your kids about it too, and explain what you're doing. And this is just a great exercise too, because you're explaining what you're doing, not necessarily what you're doing, but why you're doing it in a way that a young child can understand. And I made a vlog post a few years ago where I was joking and was telling my kids what I do. But it's true. Like when I think about my why, I can hear my voice kind of being a little sing-songing, explaining to them. And it's been pretty powerful for me. And they get it. So that even my daughter, she's 12 now. I told her about the webinar, even like what I was working on and the gist of it. And it's fun kind of like seeing her kind of, she's at a different age now. And like, she's not just humoring me anymore. She's actually got this like look in her eye. And she's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then when, share your goals, and when you are reaching them, Celebrate. Hey guys, woohoo! I reached that goal. I was hoping to get my list up to 1,000 people or whatever. Let's go for ice cream or something. So, dinner's on me or whatever. Okay, and then pay attention to the tools that keep you focused when it is indeed time to work. So here are some of the ideas that have helped me over the years. There's something called the Pomodoro technique. So that's an easy Google if you want to get a little bit more detail. But essentially, it's all about getting a timer and choosing a chunk of time. So common ones are 25 minutes. You just work on something on your to-do list, like super focused, knowing that when the timer goes off, you have 5 minutes to stand up, get some fresh air, do some crazy arm swinging. I have a video of me doing that. And then you do another 25-minute thing. So you do that 2 or 3 times. And then the third time you get like a juicier break, like an hour. Okay, so there's different ways you can do it. I found 25 minutes was a little too short for me. It just, I just love my job so much. Time just flies. So 45 minutes, 15-minute breaks, 45 minutes, 15-minute breaks, and then you have like a nice juicy 1.5 hour break or something like that. Essential oils work for me. I have tons of them here beside me. So I often have one, and again, it's like a theme. This theme for this month is abundance. So I always, I start the day at my work space. These days is abundance. Last month it was awaken, so I can awaken to my purpose. And again, these are like reminder tools for me that, okay, it's time to welcome in the abundance on all levels. Brain FM. Oh my God. I had this like love-hate relationship with Brain FM because I listen to it. It's a subscription. It's about, I don't know, $10 a month. And you choose if you want focus, meditation, and it's like scientifically manufactured, copies your brainwave. I don't know, but I find it helps me focus a little too much. Like I said, it just feels like time just goes whoosh. So yeah, Brain FM. There's other similar programs. I've tried some other ones, and for some reason, I really liked Brain FM. Sometimes I get a little worried though; it's gonna like trigger some weird like neural synapse sparky things. It's just so sciencey. I wrote giant checklist. So this is a idea, I guess. One of the coaches I'm following these days, I'm a huge fan of. Tosh Corbin suggested this, and I'm doing it. And now I'm looking at my giant checklist, and it's just something about writing a giant checkmark. It just feels so good. And finally, another idea that works for me. Again, just paying attention to what works for you. If I do find myself not focusing when it is time for work, I rein it back in by remembering. I'm like, oh my God, who cares about Rob and China? This is like, my kids are more important, right? This is time that's taken me away from my kids. And some other hot shot I follow mentioned it. It was actually a guy, and that really resonated with me. And that works for me to get back to the task at hand. Okay, it's time for me to take a sip of water. And again, chat in questions in the chat box. Oh, it's so funny. I didn't have time to make a latte, so I just pulled the one from this morning, and then it's sitting here, and I'm like, dude, that was like sitting there since like 5. That's kind of gross. I can't drink for that. Okay, so step 4 is when you are with the kids, stay uber present. Oh yeah, and here we mentioned lean on the power of anticipation. And here I am really leaning on my kids, apparently. Look how bored and squished they look. Anyway, so this was us on our road trip last year to Portland, Seattle, and stuff. So, all moms are fun in their own special way. So really just shine your freaky mom flag. You have your own unique brand of fun. So my kind of fun is just hanging out with them. And my little trick when I am with my kids is I save the housework for when they're around, because that's time for us to connect. They live there too. And then it's just as important when I am doing the housework, just to exude that my God, isn't this lovely to be together and making our home beautiful and putting some joy and good energy into the task at hand. And they're actually quite helpful. And I don't know. I know maybe it's easier said than done, but I have observed that it's actually a fun way to hang out with the kids. But when it's time for being super fun mom, make a big stink about it. So this is when the anticipation comes. So again, we marked on the calendar those like once a month or twice a month, like really something kind of fun and kind of novelty to look forward to. And just keep mentioning it. So in a week prior, I'm like, ooh, it's like one more week before, your double sleepover or the camping trip. And then, the night before bedtime and when they wake up, like just kind of get that anticipation really building. Because I think it's really important, especially at this age. And I mean age, time, the age of our time, whatever, in this day and age. um, of instant gratification to really exercise that, the good things in life are sometimes worth waiting for. And again, this is kind of leads into the organic living. So leaning on the natural rhythm of the home life as well as the season. So I'm kind of a stickler for consistency of bedtimes, meal times, pulse points of the day, because again, it helps with my own soul fever eruptions. And it's just as important in the summer to keep it consistent. But hey, it's summer. So remembering the season, now we could afford to stay up a little bit later. So I've been kind of easing up in that area, but really still trying to like keep that rhythm happening. Because I know, again, self-care, I need to be in bed by 10. Like I'm trying to get in bed now at 9:30 so I can read half an hour. So my kids need to be in bed before me because I need to hang out with my husband and just have, again, the alone time. And being with my husband is like being alone because the guy doesn't say anything ever. Okay. But yeah, again, though, so being kind of like flexible yet strong. So holding that rhythm, but still kind of allowing for some space for spontaneity. Finally, step 5. Okay, so all these little tidbits we picked up and you filled up your little kind of, casual bliss balance plan. We need reminders. So make sure that you keep that in place. So that's a perfect reminder. So you can make it prettier, put it on a piece of paper. And then you can kind of embellish it. And one thing to embellish it with is to take those 3 values you chose, do a quick Google search of that word along with the word value, quote. And then you'll come up with all these awesome quotes that, maybe you can write it down on that Bliss plan or, make some memes on it for your Facebook page to really kind of like highlight what you're celebrating these days. So that's what I said. Email them to yourself. So you can do that with I think it's a Gmail, like Boomerang, or put a timer on your alarm on your phone, and then you can just remind yourself of it too. And then write out your favorite one on pick one and put it on your mini Bliss Biz Balance plan. And then, you can also create a mantra that you can repeat to yourself in your morning meditation. When you are feeling the soul fever creep in, you can just, I like tapping and has helped me with my anxiety, but this can also help me with like feeling off balance. It's creeping up. I'm feeling overwhelmed. And this is another idea I got from Tosh, was writing your mantra on your bathroom wall, a mirror with an erasable marker, and then taking a shower and just allowing yourself come back to center as the water sprays you down. And so here's an example. You can say, I'm a fun, productive mama who is modeling, and here you can slip in your value, who's modeling simplicity to her children by following her dreams. So that's just an example. And then another way to set a reminder is to find an accountability buddy. So a girlfriend who is in the same bliss seeking wagon as you. feel free to share this recording with her and say, hey, do you want to be my buddy for this to make sure that we're staying on track with protecting the work hours, sticking with our main focus for self-care and being a fun mom. And if you need help with that, head on over to the Mama Bliss in Life and Biz community, and you can ask that in my Facebook group. And you can also find a link to that at blissbeyondthattime.com on the nav bar. It says community. Okay, so just to recap, today you learned how to create more balance and bliss in biz this summer. And yes, it's a belly dancer holding a snake. I don't know why. It's like you tame the beast and you're still kind of shimmying while you're doing it. So I love belly dance. I forgot to mention that. It's one of my latest big loves. How to do it without ignoring your kids, and why you don't need a full-time nanny or pricey biz coach to be successful at rocking these two worlds. You learned how to break down your summer biz goal down to doable chunks they can take on each month, and why making your Mama Bliss your priority will heighten your energy levels and access your intuitive wisdom to keep overwhelm at bay. And then also that by creating the boundaries of when you're going to get down to work, it'll also inspire your kids to go for their dreams. And that when it is time to disconnect from work, they get to anticipate hanging out with a fun, recharge, super pumped, interesting, slightly humorous at times, present mom. Oh, I can see how we're doing for time. Okay. We're here today because you want biz success this summer without the price tag of your Mama Bliss. And you want a simple solution to feeling there's not enough time. There is time, but you're feeling like there isn't enough time to do it all. And you felt like you're half-jobbing both roles as Mama Bliss, biz owner, and a mama. And are you ready to make a change? And I love this half-jobbing because my name before I married Craig was Hey Duck, and he often jokes, hey, half job, hey duck, whenever he sees me doing a half job. So that's an inside family joke. Okay, so now is your time, mama. It's your time to find more balance in your Mama Bliss and biz. It's your time to stop overwhelm for good. Okay, there's no need for overwhelm. Everything is unfolding as it should. And it's your time to find balance with the guidance of a step-by-step system. So remember, nothing I shared with you today is just a theory. I do this to myself, and I help my clients through this process to help them gain that focus and clarity and nail down the steps towards making their biz dreams come true. And I'm nothing special. I just have the system, and it's something that, as I shared, was born from a pregnancy, which induced some cravings for simpler times, which led me down this beautiful breadcrumbed trail of discovering these simplicity principles, the importance of self-care, connecting with other mamas doing this beautiful work, and collecting these gleanings, and I'm passing them on to you. So if I can do this, you can do this too. So that's why I'm doing a special promotion of my introductory level entry session coaching package. It's called the Mama Bliss and Biz Balance Session. So it is 90 minutes with me where we do a full-on Mama Bliss review of each of your 4 pillars. And we look at what your biz dreams are. Even if you're just budding, I can tell you from my experience what the next steps are so you're not wasting time. And we're going to create essentially a work schedule for you that keeps in mind what season of mothering you're in, what your kids are like, what you're into, and so that you can have that protected time too to take those baby steps forward. And here's some of my past clients just gushing about me a little bit. So this is Lynn Newman. She is she's some kind of, not a physiotherapist, but she is, the name escapes me. It's really cool. Anyways, she works with kids, and she's a therapist. So she wrote here, I was super overwhelmed and confused with where to start and what to focus on. Kathy was able to zone in on what was important, truly listen, and make some awesome recommendations. And she says here, now I feel more clear and confident. I wish I was more clear on what you call what you're doing. It's a really cool job title, but you can find her, I know, at lynnewman.com. And you can see what she's up to these days. And this is Tara Lasac. Coaching from Kathy was incredibly helpful in focusing what I really want to get out of having my own creative business. So breaking them down into smaller pieces really helped put it all into perspective. Kathy was also able to give me many tips and tricks to carve out the time I desperately needed to create and to recharge my own batteries. Thanks, Tara. So again, with this coaching package, you get 90 minutes with me. 2 bonuses that I'm going to share with you here in just a second, as well as what we went through, except clearly laid out for you, as well as a recording of our call so you can revisit it over and over again. And then by the end of the time, our time together, you will have laid out your next biz steps, a concrete self-care ritual for this summer to really lean on, some fun mom activity ideas, and you'll be able to focus when it's time to work, have clarity so you always know what to do next, as well as just being fun mom and present when it's time to be with your kids. So this is kind of a crazy bonus, but if you sign up for this before the end of July, you are going to get the Bliss Filled Mama's 3-month biz plan, which is essentially what we went through today, but much deeper. And it normally goes for $47, but I really just want to really help moms. I see that coming up over and over again, this feeling of frustration. So I want to really load you up with all of these tools. And I created a workshop, about 3 or 4 years ago, that you will also get as a bonus. It's called Simplicity Parenting in the Summer. So it's a beautiful 1-hour workshop I created, and I have a recording, and it is yours if you sign up for the Mama Bliss and Biz Balance coaching session with us in July. But if you sign up today, end of day today, what is today? It's a fast action bonus. Fast action bonus. Today is July. It's July. Sorry. Today is July 7th. End of day today, July 7th. So end of day for me is like 5 o'clock Pacific Standard. So 5, let's say 8 o'clock Eastern. You'll get this awesome, okay, so there's 2 versions. There's this one with the winky lady that I like. I get so many compliments on this, you guys. The winky lady kind of freaks out my kids. I'm kind of joking about that. And so what I do is, like, now my daughter is old enough that she gets to sit beside me in the passenger seat when I'm driving. So whenever I'm shoulder checking on her side and I'm wearing my hat, I wink, you know. It drives her crazy. It's awesome. But it's really good because it covers up the front of my head. It just looks awesome. But we also have a different version without the winky lady. So you get to decide. And it comes in this gray or a soft pink that matches the background to my webinar slide. Yeah, some cool like that. Okay, that's if you sign up today, dudes. So I'm hoping you are aware of that because it's so awesome. So this is how you sign up. You head over to blissbeyondnaptime.com, work with me, and there you can see all the 3 different ways to work with me. There's this entry level. There's also a middle tier, which is basically 3 deep dive sessions like this, but more of a follow-up and more business plan detailed. And finally, my Mama Bliss and Biz mentoring, which is a 3-month relationship with me. Just saying. So yeah, of course, you get all those bonuses with either one of the coaching packages, but whatever you do, whichever one you choose, click on the Let's Do This, or yeah, and then you can purchase and book your session with me that way. Okay. And join us now because you're ready for more bliss in life and biz. Yeah. So what's the investment? Okay, guys. So with all those bonuses, I wrote down how much each one costs. So typically, coaching with me for this is like at least $200. But like I said, this is a new coaching package, so it's in an introductory pricing right now. The course itself is $47. The workshop itself is about $97, and the resources, including getting the business plan and everything all together, it would normally cost $350 US. But to celebrate, I am offering it. Oh, where did the price go? Whoopsies. $97. So imagine it says $97. So $97 for the Mama Bliss and Biz Balance coaching session. Okay. So please do email me if you have any questions, Kathy@blissbeyondnaptime.com, or reply to any of the webinar reminders. And I'm going to be sending out the recording here really quick so that if you weren't able to make it live, because I understand it's a busy summer season for many of us. I can hear my family upstairs packing up for their camping trip. And so I am going to say goodbye here unless there's any burn and tap questions. I'm going to stop screen sharing. All right, very good. So I don't see any questions. So I am going to say goodbye to y'all now. Remember, head over to blissbeyondnaptime.com, work with me, and I will hopefully be talking to you very soon, and we'll both be wearing our matchy match hats, hopefully. That'll be really cute. Okay, guys, thanks so much. I hope you got lots out of this. Thanks for coming.